who would win. So yeah, I got the two who would wins to do. I'm compensating for Monday when I couldn't get one out. And first off, egotistical ghost asked the question: who would win in the fight, Blade or I believe it's Albert Wesker from the Resident Evil series? Now, Blade, we know he's a hybrid. He's a half vampire, half human individual. He's got all their strengths and their weaknesses except his thirst. He's skilled in firearms, has a cool sword. And depending on which versions you look at, he sometimes has like almost like a lightsaber sword, but generally speaking, it's a blade. It's a standard sword. He's got plenty of cool gadgets. He's got enhanced strength, reflexes, physical ability, speed, healing factor to a degree. Highly skilled in martial arts, very skilled in martial arts. And yeah, I mean, he's a very got usually a very cold attitude towards things, but he is Blade. There's not really much else to go over. Usually carries firearms on him, weapons, vampire-based weaponry, like light grenades, garlic, so forth and so on, silver bullets. Albert Wesker. Now I've done him before on a death bat, or on a death bat. I don't know who would win when I've had him fight Celine. That said, it's still it's it's still I can get the remember the basics behind him. That he's an enhanced human more or less. Yeah, he's got hand-to-hand combat abilities. He moves faster than a blink the eye can perceive. Like he can move instantaneously almost, not like pure teleportation, but highly skilled reflexes, strength, healing factor. Like let me just get Wesker's page up here, like a wiki page up here, so I'll actually have real Albert Wesker. There we go. Wesker do. So Albert Wesker, usually an antagonist. He got shafted in the last movie, by the way. I know that character's supposed to be extremely badass, and he got shafted in the last movie. Let's see here now. Come on. Yes, I got this whole wiki thing going here. Powers and abilities right now. And personality and relationships. There you go. Skills and abilities. Before injecting himself with the prototype virus that was created, he was a master of martial arts and marksmanship with a cold-blooded attitude. He's able to reap all the benefits of the virus and no drawbacks. He injected himself with the virus and let himself get killed by T-002. As a result of the viral injection, Wesker gained a number of superhuman abilities, demonstrate inhuman agility, endurance, strength, as well as hyper-accelerated speed and reflexes, and a limited healing factor. He often took great pleasure in showing off his powers to intimidate his foes. These attributes gave him a number of advanced combat abilities, which he used to craft his own unique martial arts style, which perfectly complemented his abilities. His aim while using weapons also is quite inhuman. The virus he injected added the ability of superior endurance and near invulnerability, hardening his skeleton, internal organs, tissue, and skin to the point where they attempt to punch him or engage in hand-to-hand combat will most likely fracture limbs on part of the attacker, unless they themselves are physically enhanced. Punching him will result in Chris grimacing and shaking his punching. Anyway, hardened skin is also such that it's quite capable of bending metal when struck against. Let's see, demonstrated. This is demonstrated. He's durable such that he not only survived being caught in the epicenter of an explosion, but apparently not having any ill effects. So he can survive an epicenter. I don't know the size of the explosion, but he pretty much is. His durability is through the roof. In addition, during his attacks at the Umbrella Russian facility, Wesker is shown traversing down an extremely deep pit with only a few jumps. So he's highly agile, highly capable of jumping. Notable achievements of his superhuman speed, accelerated vision, and agility include being capable of dodging bullets at practically point-blank range with nearly no effort, including rapid-fire multiple-shot weapons, grenades, and rocket launchers, being able to cover great distances in a short time, relatively equal to the time in which it would take a fast vehicle, adhering to the walls and ceilings like a spider, performing short dashes speed faster than the human eye and brain can process. Notable achievements of increased strength include being able to lift a large missile with one hand and throwing them around, lifting large steel girders off his body, lifting an adult human off the ground with one hand, effortlessly thrusting straight through the chest of a person with his fingertips, and killing a chimera, BOW, don't know what that is, with just one kick. Also gave him a low-level healing factor, rapid healing factor, coupled with incredible endurance, rendering near invincible and conventional damage. The virus, however, was unstable, so he kept a special serum on him. Otherwise, if he overdosing on the serum would deteriorate his vision. His agility seemed slowed slightly, though he still remained lethal and could dodge some attacks. His blood veins bulged in his head. After absorbing large amounts of something or other from a missile containing it, he became even more resilient to damage, stronger, with his powers. Basically, he is a highly advanced super soldier. No real special abilities, like he doesn't have like energy projection or telekinesis or anything like that. But in terms of physicality, he is beast. He's beast. So how would this fight break down against the two of them? Well, yeah, Blade's like me storming Umbrella Corporation, let's say. That's like the virus they created, or like the envelope virus they created, maybe was kind of like a vampire pathogen or something like that. Wesker just doesn't have to be a vampire. So, Blade's storming, he takes out a bunch of hit guards, takes out a couple of monsters, and then him and Wesker face off. And in just the initial confrontation, Blade's going to be at a disadvantage because when you talk durability, Blade can injure individuals, because we've seen, and I'm just going by the movies just to show as examples, like Deacon Frost was not durable. He could hurt him, but granted he had high regenerative capabilities, but he was not highly durable. What was it? Novak from the second movie, again, durable, but Blade could hurt him no problem. When he went up against Dracula, a guy who clearly is not as physically tough as Wesker is being hyped to be, like his skin could be pierced by an arrow pretty much. Blade couldn't hurt him at all. When he went into like his super uber form, Blade could like throw punches and and just knocked him, and it didn't bother him at all. So from a pure physical standpoint, I'm going to say right now that Blade can't stand up to Wesker. Blade physically can't go toe-to-toe with Wesker. I mean, like in terms of actual ability, like martial arts capability, they might actually be like on par, because both of these guys are master martial artists. But when you're talking about the physicality used to employ those martial arts, Wesker's got this guy beat. Wesker's got him beat in terms of speed, in terms of agility, in terms of strength, in terms of durability is going to be a big factor in this. Now, granted, Blade's strong enough that I don't think he breaks his hand on him, but it's going to just be one of those things where Wesker doesn't feel it. Wesker just doesn't feel it, or just like, please, and then just backhands Blade, and Blade goes blind, like, and then Blade starts firing off, rounds of weapons. They have firing weapons. Blade's getting nicked, but he's still overall okay. Wesker's just avoiding them. Maybe he gets occasional graze, but nothing strong enough that's going to hurt him. So just ching, ding, ding. So it's just going to be like that. Blade brings out his sword, maybe throws like a UV grenade at him, but because Wesker also wears sunglasses, that's not going to do much. Let's play a little devil's advocate here. Let's say maybe a bullet ricochets and breaks off Wesker's glasses, and Wesker's just it's like, so he's up. Then Blade throws a UV grenade, blinds him temporarily because enhanced senses, that's gonna hurt. So I mean, it's not like Superman where enhanced senses like hearing hurts, but eyesight doesn't for some reason. I don't get that with Superman. It's like his eyesight is so heightened that bright light doesn't hurt him. I mean, yeah, I get it. He goes straight to the sun. He's been to the sun multiple times, so I guess after a while the light just doesn't hurt your eyes. But no, that instantaneous light turn, because Wesker, for all intent and purposes, is still human. So just blinds himself, it's like, and then Blade just starts firing, just point blank. At point blank range, I would say that maybe they both they won't, like, there'd be no lethal damage, don't get me wrong, and particularly because they're silver-based bullets. But at the same time, I think they would at least, like, embed themselves in him a little bit, like, boom, like, maybe like a centimeter in or something like that. But they'll just be forced out because he has a healing factor. But Blade then just will bring out his blade, start slicing up at him, or trying to slice him up. And again, shallow cuts, but you'll still be able to injure Wesker. Wesker will eventually just, he's using his senses now to kind of just avoid the blade as best he can. Grabs the blade and just snaps it. And then just punches Blade again. Blade then, has that, if you remember the second movie where he had that weird, or was it the second movie? Yeah, the second movie where he had that. No, he had it in the first movie too, where he had that little thing he flipped and almost like a boomerang and just throws that and just kind of nicks him a little bit. So Then they get back up. Blade's huffing and puffing, just. Wesker, for the most part, is still good to go, but he's a little roughed up at this point. Blade reloads again, just it's like, I'm gonna kill you. Blade throws another grenade. This time Wesker closes his eyes, but again Blade takes advantage of that. Just throws actually, I would imagine he brings out one of the shotguns he probably brings on him, just fires into him. Again, maybe with silver stakes, and those would probably embed a little, like maybe an inch in there. So now he's got some silver. Wesker's got some silver stakes sticking out. Just maybe got one stuck in his head. Just and then Blade just punches stakes straight into him, and that gets his attention. And then he's like, and then just again, just Blade's able to avoid the first backhand, but gets a knee to the just boom, a knee to the chin right there. Just and then just again gets flown back. Blade's now really hurting at this point. Wesker though is now starting to feel it, because now he's got a freaking because the stakes, you remember for the movie, the stakes are like that big, so he's got a stake sticking at him. He can't really get it out that well either. I mean, his healing factor would eventually push it out, I'm imagining. So maybe slowly it's starting to go like slowly, and eventually he'll be like, he's getting the other stakes out while he can. It's like, yeah, I've had enough of you, Daywalker. And then he just tosses Blade aside. He's about to choke him out, and just like, it's like, what's so funny? It's like this, and then if you remember in the second movie, he had syntax on him, so he had explosive enough to level a city block. So it's like, just said Blade realizes he's not coming out of his life, but you're not coming with me either, and then just detonates and goes boom. Unfortunately, Wesker can survive the epicenter of an explosion pretty all right. So, granted, I think he'd be a little more roughed up from that, just because he's already roughed up from the fight. But here, I think Wesker wins this the majority of the time. The reason for that is Blade has gone up against superpowered individuals. Let's just go by the movies right now. Blade has gone up against superpowered individuals before and got his ass handed to him. Like, he does all right in the early stage of the fight, but always the opponent becomes more powerful. He always comes more powerful, and Blade can't take him on. Like Dracula, I think is not. I mean, he's not the best allegory for Wesker. Absolutely, he's not. He's not the equivalent of Wesker at all. But he would be the closest allegory to Wesker in this case. And once he transforms into his super Dracula form, he completely owned Blade. Completely. So it's. I don't see Blade, unless Blade can maybe somehow get his head off. That'd be the only, because all his organs are hardened. Like, his brain is hardened, his bones are hardened, everything like that. Blade would struggle just to get that, that punching stake move. That might be effective if he could do it multiple times, but I only imagine maybe getting one, at best two off, and Wesker's durability and healing factor would allow him to survive that and just beat him. He's far superior in terms of strength and speed, the Blade. So it's I don't see a really solid scenario where Blade wins. Now, it's not impossible. Again, I think maybe if there was a scenario where maybe Blade fired off some silver stakes from like the rocket, from like a shotgun or something like that, and like maybe one hits Wesker in the head, but it just punches straight into his head. Because Blade is seriously physically strong, so he's far stronger than a normal person, so he probably could manage that. I'd imagine that maybe that could be lethal, but I don't know if Wesker's ever really taken like true serious damage to his brain before. But Wesker's record of durability and strength and physical feats outmatches Blade's, so I gotta give this to Wesker. Now, again, I would say 95%. I think there's a 5% scenario that Blade could figure out something. Granted, with his arsenal that he normally has on him, like a shotgun, grenades, or UV grenades, or whatever, his sword, nothing he has would be really well designed to take on Wesker in terms of killing him. So, yeah, I'm going to go 95% Wesker, 5% for Blade. But hey, if you think there's a legitimate way that Blade not only wins more often, but wins the majority over Wesker, let me know. Put it in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, superhero, magic, what if, anything I do in the channel, put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to it at some point. I might actually have some what ifs tomorrow. Because I live on the East Coast, particularly Massachusetts, and we've got a winter storm warning. Like everything's getting canceled tomorrow, so I might have to not call out work. I might not be called into work tomorrow, so I might have all day to do my normal stuff, which sucks because payday tomorrow, and that means I have to. Its scheduling is going to be irritating. I'll do the whole thing Saturday, whatever. I got the weekend off. Yeah, I'll be back with the other who would win for this week. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.